sorry for another peculiar angle. Um, I just kind of had like a lot on my mind today, and well, the last 2 to 3 days that I've just been like randomly writing about. And it's funny because I didn't have like a passion, well, not necessarily a passion for writing, because like I said, I've been writing for a long time now but never really applied it to music. But over the last 2 to 3 days I've had like that fire lit under my ass, by various people. And so I ended up actually, well, one of the songs I wrote kind of like was throwing shade, only because someone was throwing shade at me first. And the only way that I could at this point respond was to just write a song. Just like Tate McRae said, let's go song for song. Like, um, so that kind of like inspired that. It was kind of a diss track, if you will, but not necessarily. Maybe it was like an exposed track. I don't know. But it felt really good to get that out. And then I wrote another thing earlier today because I was like filling something. Um, I don't, I'm not necessarily sure if it was just like me processing just like exhausting relationships. You know what I mean? Like, and it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with where like the relationship stands, but it's just like the fact that you put forth the effort, and you like try to make it be known to this person, like, hey, like, you're not alone, like, and it basically falls on deaf ears. But then when you pull back, then they like basically come back around, and you can just see the hurt in their eyes, right? So you're like, okay, cool, like, I'm not gonna make it my business, but at the same time, I used to be friends with people who they felt alone, and no one like was actually there for them, and it took like a toll on them, right? And the thing is, like, it's innate for human beings to have connections with other people. And no matter how many times I have tried to like chuck it up to I don't give a fuck, ultimately it does not matter if I like think that way. It's not how I genuinely feel. And over the last couple months, I've learned to process how I feel, and that I'm not my emotions, but it is important for me to address how I feel. And so, since, it falls on basically deaf ears, um, I have thus turned to writing, right? But I didn't really foresee it, like, actually me becoming more of a songwriter. Like, I have been on this journey now, and I've been posting about it, but I wasn't actually thinking like, oh yeah, I'm gonna feel certain emotions that I'm gonna end up writing down on paper. And so when I got home today, this is maybe about like an hour, 2 hours ago, I literally sat down and wrote some more stuff, and it just felt like really good because I'm like, you know what? These other people aren't listening to what I have to say, but you know who will listen? The paper that I am interacting with and the universe. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just write it down on paper. So that's kind of what I've been doing, and it's been so therapeutic. Like, all bullshit aside, the whole, oh, I'm not cut out for this, or oh, like, I don't have enough motivation. I found that motivation, and I've also found how to connect my emotions to what I'm writing about. And that was like a big step. that I feel like I was missing for a while. Like I would just write and I'm like, I don't know how I feel, like, but now I'm able to address how I feel. And because people kind of like shut me out and shut down the idea of like me being truly there for them, I in return turned to the paper and I started writing. So I think if you really want to get into expressing yourself more and having emotion come through when you're writing, just take prime examples from your life of like what bothers you or what you feel like isn't necessarily being heard by the person that you want to hear it, and just apply it to the paper. And man, when I tell you, like and that's not to say that they're good by any means, because you can always improve, and I definitely can always improve, but it's a start, and that's like the thing that I'm most grateful for, is being able to just start. But ultimately, I do have tomorrow off, so I look forward to seeing what happens and the things that I conjure up, and being able to apply what I read in this book right here. This book right here, I look forward to applying what I've already written so far, because I just think it's amazing that I finally was able to connect my emotional side to my writing, and it didn't feel like I'm just, hey, like, what, like, monotone with it. I was actually able to say, damn, this sucks how you fucking did me wrong, or how you talked about me, how you made me feel like low, or I was feeling good and then you came around and you kind of like crumbled like any sort of positive like vibes that I was like putting out there. And normally I combat that just by like sticking to myself, or like going back in my head and being like, you know what, they got things going on. But at the same time, like when I don't address how a situation is making me feel, it kind of just like, it starts to numb you. And like honestly, I used to be numb and I'm never going back to that. So, but yeah, I just wanted to give like a brief touch, a brief touch on how things are going, and I'm really enjoying it. But I'm also starting to like really see friendships for what they really are, and the relationships I have in my life currently. And honestly, who knows? I might write some brilliant shit soon because of how these connections are going. More on that later, I promise.